being that the agency had some concerns over the idea that perhaps Cuba was behind the assassination, or the Russians to some degree, or working more likely in a combination of the two. Look, I think, do I think that he could have taken that shot? Yeah. It was not. It was not. I've been up in that book depository from that point from that vantage point. We did a story on the whole issue, the conspiracy theory, and what could have happened. And we tried to find some new witnesses. And could he have made that shot? Yeah, it was a straightforward effort with someone who had some training. He was he wasn't the world's best shot, but he had sufficient training to make that shot. Now that's separate from his motivations and any potential support that he may have gotten during the course of that. And I think that he, in his mind, he genuinely felt that this was going to get him into the revolution, right? That this was he had had a very unhappy experience in Russia when he was over there living, came back, saw what was happening in Cuba, desperately wanted to be part of that, took an unexplained trip down to Mexico, which could well have been in an effort to find somebody who could support his desire to take some sort of action, whether he had formed in his mind that's what he was going to do at the time or not. So, is there still a possibility that the Cubans, which the intel service there, would have had the file on him? I mean, he was a very, very well-known quantity, obviously, by that time for the Russians. The Russians were solely responsible for training up the Cuban intel service. So there's a massive file on him, and they knew, who they were dealing with. They knew his weaknesses. They knew his motivations. They knew what to do in terms of trying to get leverageable, information on him. So I think that the jury's still out. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I think there's enough there that says, yes, it's kind of like what we're talking about with climate change. I believe this, but this also could be true. So right. I think he could have taken that shot for sure, and succeeded.